Rahulbot. Welcome back, guys. Welcome to Something of Substance. This is your host, Siren. Today I am joined by, drumroll please,
Joseph Lynch. My name is Joseph Lynch. I'm the studio manager here at Studio 519, and had the pleasure of meeting you recently. And definitely looking forward to producing some cool stuff with you, as well as
likewise.
giving you the opportunity to have some guests in here and talk about whatever's on your mind,
Hell yeah.
whatever you want to chop up and talk about. But yeah, happy to be here. The floor is yours. It's your show. I'm the guest.
Um, we did a take yesterday. Volume was unfortunately not up to par, but we're back with it. Hoping this one will be something of substance. um, we briefly touched on animism yesterday, but we could bring up a completely different subject if you like. Something I was seeing in Albuquerque is, well, like with anywhere, it's like the job market. Everyone says they're hiring, but everywhere is understaffed. Um, a lot of people are jobless right now or in between jobs. Kind of like there's like this very like liminal space hovering over the United States job market. And
Think of a lot as uncertainty. Like,
yeah,
I feel like we're in this weird space right now where, of course, we're at war with Iran.
yeah,
Everything that we travel around the country with, the trucks and everything, it's costing more money for them to ship goods around the country.
with
And I think
the
a lot of
embargoes.
companies are sort of
Yeah,
unsure. Do I beef up my staff or do I slim down? We're sort of in this in between period where people are still trying to figure it out. I think whether it's small businesses or corporations, corporations, they're all about making money and they don't want to do anything that sort of jeopardizes their profits. So,
but they also don't want to give citizens livable wages. Like there's people right now working two, three jobs, like hardworking Americans, and they still can barely afford rent each month or to live. And then it's like rent goes up like every 7 to 9 months. So
right.
it's like you might be paying like 800, and then that shit jacks up to 1,200, and it's like, well, now you have to work more hours, find a second job, budget more, and especially if you have children. It's like I personally don't have kids, but if you have children, it's like it just makes it a lot more difficult. So I want to shout out to everyone who's holding down a job right now, everyone who's struggling, everyone who's hustling. Like a lot of people I know, especially back in St. Louis, like everyone is very talented, very creative. Everyone is like working like a job or two jobs, and then they have like a few side hustles. Like they do hair and nails on the side. Shout out to Brooklyn, Aurora Silks on Instagram. She does nails. She's a CNA. She's
Hustling.
she's hustling, and that's kind of like the culture back in Illinois and St. Louis. And it's awesome because we are a party town. Like I don't know if you've ever like partied in St. Louis, but like we like to have fun. There's a function every weekend. If you go on Eventbrite and search St. Louis right now, you'll probably see like over 200 events, just like on the same fucking day. And that's only possible because everyone is working like fucking hard. Like everyone is working overtime. Everyone is Ubering, DoorDashing on the side, doing hair and nails, cutting hair, taking out trash, walking dogs, babysitting. Like, and then on the weekend, like we work hard all week. On the weekend, there might be like 200 people like packed inside a building, and like everyone's drinking Henny, everyone's passing around blunts. Like, there's good music.
Gotta let loose.
Yeah,
Let your hair down.
yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
I mean, let's face it. Most people work hard. You got to play just as hard.
yeah, that's true. Work hard, play hard, as Wiz Khalifa said.
I mean, if we don't find things that sort of let off some of that steam and
Yeah,
find the joy in life, like what's the use of busting your ass like that if you can't enjoy your downtime?
I think that's something I struggled with as a younger boy. I'm 26 now, but when I was in high school, right, I tended to have like a very like what's the word? I had tunnel vision. Like I have like severe case of tunnel vision, and I don't even really remember what my goal was at that point because it's changed so many. Like I've worked different jobs and explored different paths. So I'm like, whatever it was I was chasing at the time, my goal was like I was so committed to my goals that like I was just on like a straight like I know the Bible says take a narrow path, but I was just literally like just straight to it, and I realized like that's not necessarily how life works. Like just because you're ready and you think you need to get to the destination does not. If you haven't completed the journey, then you're not gonna get to the destination. So it's like kind of have to learn like damn like I'm working really hard. I'm applying myself, but if you're planting seeds in the wrong season, it's just not gonna fucking grow. Like
You're right.
if you're planting strawberries in the winter, it's probably not. You're not gonna have a harvest. So it's like that's something I feel like a lot of young men struggle with. Is it's not that they're lazy, but it's like the energy and effort is being applied in the wrong area, and you may or may not have someone to tell you like, hey, like do something like we talked about on the demo, like having like the elders having like someone to say like, hey, like that's not it, like you know. So
Yeah, it's important to
yeah,
figure out what your purpose is in life.
yeah,
I think, I mean, I'm like twice as old as you,
man,
so you know,
you're a young man, dog.
I think back. I mean, right after high school, I had no idea really what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I had a lot of, sort of that pie in the sky. Oh, I'm
yeah,
gonna do a lot of things, and then
yeah,
of course, life, you know, it humbles you, it teaches you. Um, but I think one of the most important things when you're young is to try different things.
facts.
Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to, you know, step outside your comfort zone a little bit, because that's when you actually do grow. In my opinion, is when you fail, when you make mistakes.
And step out
That's
your
when you're
comfort
learning.
zone. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like for myself, growing up in, you know, in a interracial family, I had the opportunity when my aunt was a young lady. She married a man who already had two kids, two black kids. They had two kids. You know, we were an interracial family, and I grew up in a very white, predominantly white area
yeah,
that wasn't ready for that.
yeah.
And let's face it, some of the worst people you'll ever meet are kids in school. They're bullies.
They're
They're,
savage, man.
they're little assholes.
They're
They like to
completely.
make fun of people.
They're tyrants, man.
And for me, I grew up. I had a real speech impediment, so I used to stutter real bad.
Yeah.
And like the worst thing in life for me at a young person would be, hey, I want you to read this paragraph right here. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah, I'd be like,
God.
yeah, like nah, man.
I'd
That's.
be ready to head to the principal's office, man. Like that was fear
I'm
for
skipping
me.
class today. Yeah,
That was fear for me. But growing up in an interracial family, I had an opportunity to, you know, to be enriched in ways that people don't necessarily think of as being enriching. But experienced in different cultures, different music, different food. I mean, that to me, that's some of the best stuff in life is to experience other cultures. Go. I had the privilege in the Navy to go to different countries and sit down with people who don't understand me and I don't understand them, but you could sit down and have a meal, you could sit down and have a drink, and you could communicate in ways you probably never imagined that you could until you actually sat down with these people. But I mean, we get so much from other people in life as long as we're ready to absorb it and take it in and have an open mind and an open heart. Like that's some of the best stuff in life for me.
that touched on a lot of notes that resonate with me. I grew up in the hood, but like early life, I know I lived in the same house most of my life, and then I moved like twice in St. Louis, but I really only moved to like a worse a worse hood. But before I started middle school, like public school in third grade, I was homeschooled as I was telling you, and we went to a lot of like Christian vacation Bible school, like study like homeschool study programs with other Christian families, and I got to meet all types of cultures. There were like Asian people, Chinese, Mexicans, black people, whites, Koreans, like there were Vietnamese kids. It was like, and then like I've moved around different parts of St. Louis. Like I lived on the south side. There's like a lot of Bosnians and like Hispanics over there and Latinas, and then more in like the county you have like
You want to switch the camera, man? People are gonna get tired of looking
oh
at
yeah, shit, my
you.
bad,
They
yeah.
don't want to look at me that
Nah,
long.
yeah, what's he's not even talking, but it was interesting because it's like I live in a nice neighborhood, but it's surrounded by the hood is really ghetto. So it's like we would go out of the neighborhood and go into like these like richer areas, and we would go to like events, like churches. We go to like fundraisers. We were always like we were always like volunteering and donating. We would go painting, and we would always drive like out of our area. So as a child, I didn't really know that I lived in the hood because it was like we would always leave the area, and then I never really went outside my neighborhood. So um it used to be really it used to be safe, but then it was like around like the time I entered third grade. That's when like young kids start joining gangs. In fourth grade, a kid went around the classroom and basically like initiated everyone into his dad's gang. And he got to me. He showed me the signs, and then he was like, later in the day, he was like, we actually don't need you. We found enough people. And I was like, I guess that was like my like saving grace, because like that same day they did like the jump ins after school in the fucking alley. So it was like it went from like being like calm to just like by the time I entered sixth grade, that's when people started backdooring, if you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Backdooring is like, say like you have a best friend, they'll like find out where you stay, they'll like get like basically like case your house and then like break in through the back door, or like they'll like kick the fucking back door open. So by the time I entered sixth grade, it went from being like calm to like kind of rough. And then by the time I entered sixth grade, like that's when everyone had guns or they were like full on like outside. So uh I couldn't let anyone know where I fucking stayed at. Like you just didn't tell people, like even your bed, like you didn't bring people home to your house after school. Like you went to the park or some shit. And it was interesting because it's like I would always like travel out the area and go see other places, but then there's a lot of kids there who they've never been out of that area. They've never been out the neighborhood. So I was dating this girl last year around Valentine's, and her brother, he's in a certain state from Chicago, and he has, according to her, he has never left his neighborhood. He's never even seen like downtown Chicago, like 30 minutes away. He's never left his like neighborhood. So it's like
What a
it's
shame.
yeah, it's sad.
What a
This
shame.
I think like children need exposure to different experiences. I grew up in a bad area, but because like early on, like my mom and dad would take me to like the opera. We would go like painting at a place called Coca or Cocoa. They had like different lessons for different age groups. They had like we go bowling. We would My dad is ex-military, so we hang out with his buddies. Like they were like Philippine, or like yeah, they were from like he has some Japanese friends. We like go to their house, do like karaoke and try their cuisine. Like, and my dad, because he's ex-military, he's been stationed like all over. He's been stationed in Korea, Hawaii, like Hong Kong. He's been all over. So he would make us try like different cuisine. A lot of it wasn't good in my opinion, but he would make us try everything. Like we would have like different cuisine like every night for dinner at one point. And um I like my mom always says, she's like, I just want you to like see the world. Just like just go explore, like go see what's out there and like find out like. But I think as a young man, like what you're saying about, I've been yapping for a while. I'm sorry, guys. I've just been talking. Um, but I think part of being a man or just a young man in general is like carving out your own path. Um, we have a lot of what I would say is dick riding, like people who something worked for them and now like everyone is trying to like copy their measure of, everyone's trying to like copy their recipe.
Right.
But it's like it doesn't work that way. Like even identical twins, they still feel different things. Like
For
that they
sure.
still have different. They look alike, identical, like, but they still have are gonna have different life experiences. So it's like we have to like I think as men like discover like who we are and kind of just like stick to it. Like the consistency, the discipline, the commitment, even through hardship, like just being that like solid, not hard, like emotionally unavailable or numb, but just like solid as like knowing who you are and like carrying your torch forward and lighting the way for others so they can also find their way.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that for me, um, I mean, I had a lot of you know great friends
Mm-hmm.
growing up, and my home bringing wasn't always that great. My parents divorced when
Yeah.
I was really young,
Yeah.
and my mom, she was a bit of a drug addict, and she was absent a lot of my life. Matter of fact, in the time that we live in now, if that had happened, I probably would have been taken away.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother and I, we were, we're Gen X. We're the kids that, you give your kid a key to the house. They
Oh,
put it around
latchkey.
their neck.
Yeah, latchkey kids.
And
Yeah.
they're like, make sure you come home when the street lights come back on. But I mean, basically, you left in the morning and you just discovered the world. You check things
Yeah.
out. You try not to get into any real serious trouble.
Yep.
But I mean, we were free to explore. We were free to do the right things or the wrong things. But and like I said, my mom was absent a lot when I was pretty young, and you know, at the time, I didn't realize if I had it bad or if I had it good. It was just how I had it.
Yeah.
And I don't fault her because she had my brother when she was only like 16 years
Oh
old.
shit.
She was a very young mom. And in the 70s and 80s, people were partying, people were carrying on, people were, tearing it up a little bit. And and like I said, if other people knew, my mom would leave like on a Friday, we wouldn't see her till Sunday or maybe sometimes Monday. And
Yeah.
grew up watching American Bandstand and Soul Train. I'm a Soul Train kid, so literally every Saturday,
Yeah.
instead of watching cartoons, I was watching Soul Train.
That's pretty dope though.
Trying to figure out how to dance, trying to figure out how to, not get into any real serious trouble. But I mean, I was lucky to grow up in, I think, a time where some of the best music was produced, some of the best artists popped up, and I mean, again, we didn't have cable until the early 80s. So prior to that, you just had a TV with a knob on the front, and maybe you have 4 or 5 different channels. Way before social media or way before the stuff that kids are dealing with now. But I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm glad I grew up in the time that I did.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the way Gen X grew up, Gen X grew up is like a lot more innocent than Gen Z and like Gen Alpha, because there wasn't as much exposure. Like even like in the music, like it wasn't as explicit. Like now, they'll straight up be like the dick in that, pussy. Like they'll straight up say it, but like back, it was still like the same content, but it was like more suggestive and less just like outwardly like I'm selling, I'm fucking, and it's just like now it's just like whoa, like, and there's children listening to this shit, so it's like, you say what?
Switch.
Oh shit, yeah, damn. But like there's,
Don't get tired looking at me, man.
yeah,
You're way better looking than I am.
Hey, thank you. But it's like this.
But you're right. Like the music was.
It was a more wholesome.
They didn't straight up say.
Yeah.
This is what it was, but I mean, think of Hot Pants by James Brown. Like literally.
Yeah.
I remember listening to Hot Pants from his live recording, and he's talking about you know why I like them hot pants? And then the band's like, no, James, why? You know why I like them hot pants? You know why? Because what you see is what you get. I mean,
it's
they
like,
weren't just saying, oh, look at that ass. But, they were
that
saying
ass
it
though,
without
yeah.
saying it. They were saying it
That
without
ass though.
saying it.
Yeah. That ass though.
And of course, I grew up a big Prince fan. And of course, Prince is known for being very provocative. Some very naughty lyrics, but it didn't completely corrupt me.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said earlier. Like, I have a podcast episode about like it talks about the black structure of the family, like the brokenness in the black home. I can't really speak on other cultures because I haven't like lived with them like that to know, but like. Basically though, like my childhood, like early childhood was great. Around the time I entered like public school, it kind of that's when like I realized we were like important. That's when like I was like, wait, like I'm hearing gunshots every night, and my parents were pretty absent too. Like basically, I was a latchkey kid too. I was like 5 or 6. They taught me like how to do laundry, cook, clean, answer phone, when or when not to answer the door. My dad was teaching me like combat shit really young. He's a ex-military. He used to do martial arts, so he was teaching me like self-defense. And they would be at work all day. Like my dad, at one point, he worked two jobs. Sometimes he had three jobs, and so he wasn't really home, or he would be like come back at like 2 a.m. and then he'd be gone by like noon for his other job. So my mom also worked full time in the office, or she'd be at the hair salon for like 5 6 hours. And like black women hair back then, like they didn't have as much like science and research in it, so like the chemicals were harsh. It took a long time. She come back home like her hair would smell like like a hot iron, had like the curls and shit. She'd be like they both just be gone like all day. So my older sister would take advantage of that. And she would just like fucking dip, and I would just be in the crib on the computer, and I had like the computer was basically like the fucking babysitter. Like I really was just at home doing research on the computer. I would look up like a topic and then like find like everything related to it, and then like find like the umbrella branched out like the synonyms of it, like osmosis, and then I would find out like everything about osmosis, and then like everything related to like water or like molecules and shit, and then I would just look up like different plants and animals. I was really into dinosaurs. I would watch anime all day, just play like web games all day, like fucking Mega Man and shit, like Mega Man Zero, Pac Man, uh, like zombie shooters and shit. And I spent a lot of time like alone, just kind of like researching, just like looking, finding out about the world, like politics, news. I was just like absorbing all this information, and I went to school one day. I was like, I'm gonna talk about all this cool shit I learned. It did not. No one. It did not take. They were like, "What the fuck are you
Didn't
talking about?"
connect with other people.
They were like, "Dude, what the fuck?" They were like,
Say
"What?"
what?
They were like, "What?" So I was like, black sheep, outcasted, didn't really have any friends, and I kind of just learned to like do my own thing. I was like, people didn't really get it. Like I really was like, I cared about the environment. I would pick up trash when people littered. People just didn't really give a fuck. So I kind of was just like to myself, and I really just like learned to just like have my own work going on, like not be caught up with like the crowd or like who says what or what's doing what, because there were times when I was like popular and like more accepted, and just I realized like this shit is shallow. Like all these kids talk shit about each other. Like literally, as soon as they walk away, they just start ripping on each other. And I'm like, I didn't. I just wanted to like discover truth and like discover who I am. Like, you know,
That's way deeper than most kids are.
shit.
Way deeper than most kids. Most kids are they're concerned about popularity. They're concerned. I mean, the biggest worry that most young people have is what do other people think about me?
Yeah,
Um, because you don't really have any self
I had that fear at
confidence.
one point. Yeah,
They don't have that self identity. Like this is who I am. Because we're all trying to figure it out, especially when we're young. And I feel like other kids can be such assholes. They can be your best and worst enemy sometimes in the same person.
yeah,
And of course, you know what you think is cool, someone else might say, "Oh, that's lame," or
and you get laughed at and shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not easy being a kid, and I feel like in a lot of ways it's even harder now than it ever has been because I mean, like nowadays,
there's too many pressures for like children nowadays. It's like there's, like Roblox,
yeah,
the mafia gangs, the yakuza, like different criminal syndicates. They recruit children off of there, and Roblox is connected to Discord. Roblox is moderated, but Discord isn't. So you can join a Discord server, and someone can invite you to a server, and there's fucking videos of people like being beheaded, or there's just like NSFW, and there's people who like catch the predators on there or like shut it down,
mm-hmm.
and their accounts get fucking banned because the people who are on these apps doing this nefarious shit, they're making money for Roblox. So like they never get in trouble. They'll like ban their account for a week, and then they're right back to recruiting, trafficking. Like
Anonymous bullshit.
it's crazy how like much technology is like children didn't even have rights really until like the more like mid 21st century. Like they were kind of just seen as like accessories to adults. Like even in different countries, like especially France, like they're not seen as people really. Like they don't have really autonomy on their own. So it's like there are like I feel like it is like harder than ever for the children and kids now to like really even grow up.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
too many predators, too many people preying on their youth, preying on their vulnerability. Like
yeah,
when you're a little bit older, you're not so vulnerable. But nowadays, like literally, I mean, even when it comes to like social media, like
yeah.
these kids have phones way too early, in my opinion.
3 4 years old, they got like literally like iPads and like iPhone 20s and shit. Is like,
And,
and they know how to use it better than us.
right,
Yeah,
for sure. And when I was a kid, like bullying, it happened while you were at school or on the bus.
yeah.
Then when you got off the bus, it was done. Now
It follows you.
it can follow you on Instagram. It can follow you on your phone. Like literally, there's so many people who have access to you that probably shouldn't have access to you.
Yeah,
And of course, again, the one thing that probably has never changed is when you're young, you're just trying to figure out who you are. You're trying to figure out, you know, you want to be cool, and you think this is cool, and the next thing you know, you're associating with people that don't have your best interest in mind, that are sort of preying on your vulnerability, and the next thing you can end up in a very vulnerable situation. And I feel like kids nowadays, there's just so many pitfalls. But
especially online. There's too many pitfalls online now. You can say the wrong thing, and then boom, like just like it's on it's like you're on a fucking list somewhere, or just you're going viral, but for the wrong reasons.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. So, how long have you been in New Mexico now? I know it's your show, but I'm gonna ask you that
Oh,
question.
it's been 2 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you end up out here?
I mean, I've been trying to get the fuck out of St. Louis for a while now. I've traveled, but I was never really able to move on my own, or I never really had like the stuff together to just up and move. Um, Great city, have great friends there, know a lot of talented people, but it is a very draining, toxic, and like evil environment, and it was just getting to me, and I was kind of got into a family, and not gonna get into we kind of were seeing things differently, and I was like, wait, like I don't have to stay here, like been having some issues where like we're just seeing life from different angles, and it's not, so I'm just like, what, like I'm grown, I don't have to accept this shit, so I kind of just dipped.
So why New Mexico? Why did you choose this place?
Well, my homegirl, shout out to Aurora Silks on Instagram. She offered like a few months. She offered like 5 or 6 months ago, and she's been kind of like on my ass about it. Like she was like, "I think you should come out here. It's a better environment, be good for you." And I was like, "Nah, like I'm trying to just figure things out at home." And the closer she got to like coming out to St. Louis, I was like, "Yeah, like there's really nothing here. Like it's people from there will tell you like get out the city. Like there's nothing there. Like the industry is dead. The infrastructure is crumbling. The job market is like a joke. Uh, it's just it's just dead there. And I was realizing like I can stay here my whole life trying to figure it out and keep having the same issues, or I can like just travel and see. I was like I might as well. I was like I'm tired of having the same results here. I was like I might as well just get the fuck out this city and see like
Try something else.
yeah. So I really came out here to find work. Just I'm working at Walgreens now. Came out here just to like find opportunity and like have a fucking savings account and just make some money. You know.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, they call it the land of enchantment, but some
Yeah.
people call it the land of entrapment.
Yeah.
But I mean, the beautiful thing about St. Louis is it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. It'll still be there.
You could always go back.
Don't plan on
that
it.
It's cool that you took a chance, though. That
Yeah.
you're willing to, step outside your comfort zone a little bit, and I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of growth here for you.
I mean, already, I want to get too, what's the word, private, but I have had a lot of growth opportunities here so far. Like the trip here, I've traveled on the road before with my older brother, who's a trucker. We traveled in his box truck or his cargo van or like the 18 wheeler, doing logistics. But I never driven my own like across country, so I had a lot of like humbling moments getting out here, and I am 908 miles approximately away from home, so uh, I wasn't as prepared as I thought to hit the road, and me and Rory had some like kind of funny but like very like humbling moments where I kind of just had to learn like, okay, like this is what you do, this is what you don't do when you're like going across the fucking country.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's this gas station. Oh my god, it's not a Hux, but it's like one of those like interstate highways on the side of the highway.
Mm-hmm.
They have like these like hot pies, these like handheld pies. They're like they look like a big empanada, but they have like blackberry, strawberry, peach, strawberry, blueberry. They have different fillings. Oh my, it's so fucking good. Like we're thinking about going. Like it's literally like an hour away from here. We're gonna go like an hour away just to get some fucking like pies and like Sonics.
Right now.
Yeah, yeah. We had like a lot of good food on the way, like in different restaurants, fast food places, gas stations, some dispensaries, just like yeah.
Checking it out.
How long? Yeah.
I think that I mean, food. Food is my love language, man. I
Hell yeah.
love to eat, like
Yeah.
literally. And of course, New Mexico, they've got their own cuisine. I mean, there's Mexican food, there's Texas food, but New Mexico is truly New Mexican.
Green chili.
Of course, it's very inspired by Mexican food, but you know, just like in a lot of things, like you know, people take something and make it their own.
Hmm.
And I feel like they certainly have done that here. I mean, spicy food is definitely. I mean, the older I get, it hurts me, but I can't help but feel the pain from time to time.
The green chili out here isn't that spicy, but I've had some red chili out here that was phenomenal. It opened my sinuses immediately. Like as soon as it touched my tongue, I was like, snot started coming out my nose. I was like, this is good spice. That's a good spice.
So, what have you liked the most about being here?
The it's the people for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Latinas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was stationed in San Diego when I was in the Navy, and I'd never in my life experienced, you know, dating Latinas.
Yeah.
I've been married to two now.
Oh shit.
So I mean, that's I guess that's my type.
Hell yeah.
I like a woman who's strong. I like a woman who's not you know, sort of one of those lap dogs that you know just
Yeah.
that you know just take orders. Like you know, my wife is definitely a no bullshitter.
She's got some personality. Yeah.
She holds me to account. She doesn't let shit slide, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
Real shit. Real shit. Hell yeah.
And of course, you know, you go to a lot of places and they have local music, but there's truly a New Mexico music scene. Like if you listen to KANW 89.1 on a Saturday, you tune in and like it's truly local New Mexico music. And of course, I don't speak Spanish, but I have over the years gotten to learn a lot of it, and I understand more than I can speak. That's for sure. But I love the music here. I love the culture here. I think you know. I mean, for all of the challenges that New Mexico has, it has amazing people. It has you know some of the best weather you'll find in the country. And of course, you know, an undying spirit of people who care about family and they care about other people, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah, there's a good strong like family based orientated culture here. Um, I like just like some very small things like there's been times I went to a dispensary and was gonna spark up outside. I didn't have a lighter. People like just giving me their lighters and I was like really? And they were like I just needed a light. They gave me the whole lighter. Like people are giving me like food, weed. Didn't need it. People like buy me drinks at a bar. I mean that's kind of just like standard. Just but it's just like it's
Pretty
a lot.
generous.
It's a lot more generous and friendly here than in St. Louis. People. It's very poor. I mean, it's poor here too, but it's like people are really like stingy and kind of crabby there. It's like everyone's trying to make it out. So as soon as anyone like has something, people just like kind of cling on to them and they fall too. So it's like you know.
Well, I certainly am glad that we've come in contact. I'm definitely looking forward to, like I said, creating some content with you and giving you an opportunity to have other people in here and talk about
Hell
whatever's on
yeah,
your mind.
yeah. Uh,
I mean, you're leaning into mental health is it's important, man. I think there's a lot of machismo in people that they think, oh, I'm good, and they don't ever want to see, or they don't ever want anyone else to see their vulnerability, or that maybe they're not doing okay. But the fact that you're sort of leaning into it, that sometimes it's okay to not be okay.
yeah.
Um, I think that's got heavy utility to it.
Thank you. I went through that whole like toxic masculine phase of being like the macho man and being cocky, having unearned confidence, and life like humbled the fuck out of me pretty young. Like it felt like I got hit by like back to back semi trucks by life. So uh, I became very humble, and I think like you can be healing or on your healing journey, but I think as long as we're on this planet Earth and having a human experience, I think we will always be healing in general. Um, you can be fine for like 5, 6 months, 5, 6 years, but there's still something like lurking like in the back of your mind that was never addressed, and it just comes up one day. You're like you've had like 5 years of just bliss, and then it just like this big scary shadow just pops up one day. You're like it just crashes your world. So it's like I think we have to like constantly be evolving, healing, growing, and learning new ways not to just cope but to like thrive because our world keeps us in like a constant state of survival. And like the Maslow's pyramid I showed you, that study was taken from the Blackfeet clan, which is actually my ancestral lineage. But the Blackfeet tribe of Native Indigenous people, they invented that pyramid, but they had self-actualization as the first step. Maslow has self-actualization as the top. So it's like when you climb
Right.
up the pyramid, it's like in America we start out trying to like figure out like money and career and family, but really all we should be doing as humans is like discovering ourselves and learning. Like not that we shouldn't have jobs or infrastructure or trades or banking maybe, but our journey and path is really just to like learn ourselves and our surround like our nature, and the nature, like mother nature, like to learn God, to learn who we are. And we get so distracted by like school, work life balance, and uh career and partying and vices. There's all kinds of vices. There's like politics. People are fighting. People were fighting downtown over a basketball, a soccer, a baseball game last month. People are fighting over the Knicks and Spurs. It's like all this shit is a fucking distraction from just like finding out like what is your purpose. Like why did you, of all the cells, sperm cells that were like in a pregnant woman, when like they raced to ovulate the egg, it's like why did you come? Like what made you want to be here so bad that you had to race through billions of sperm cells to come to the center? Like
Right.
what brought you here?
Yeah.
Um,
You got to figure at one point you may not think you're a winner, but at one point that sperm was the winner.
yeah,
You
yeah,
won the race. You're
yeah. You
here
won the
for a
race.
reason.
Yeah,
You're here for a reason.
there's billions of people throughout history have died, and you're here at this time. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
of all the babies that are like, uh, all the babies that are aborted or just have the babies that have complications that can be born, children that die, people die. There's someone dying right now across. There's someone right now that's like just passed away. Someone right now is also giving birth. So it's like of all the billions of people in the history of the world that have been here and gone and passed, why are you here? And that's kind of what I want to get people back to, just like finding, returning to center, returning to the inner world of,
It's our job to figure it out.
yeah. That's me as a healer though. I started my path very young. Like as young as 6, I was meditating, and then by the time I was 8, I started getting into. Well, I was like 13 when I discovered Buddhism, but I became a shaman when I was like 11, and then I got like my full initiation when I was like 13, 14. And that's as a shaman, you are in two worlds. So a shaman is the bridge between worlds. So we call it the wilderness. It can be actual wilderness, like going to the woods, like in the wild, but it's more so just like the spirit. Like you go deeply into the unknown, the unfamiliar, the uncomfortable territory, and you bring back the tools. You bring back the medicine for your village. And what's messed up is there's a lot of shamans. There's a lot of like we call them like indigos or crystal children or rainbow children. About those, but or star seeds. But a lot of those children are neglected. Our current economy and just like the social infrastructure, it doesn't. We're no longer a village. It's like it's every man for themselves. It feels like the Wild West in America right now. Like everyone's being a cowboy or like a lone ranger. Every young man is trying to be his own island. So we don't really have a strong like community like nations anymore. So people who have gifts aren't really allowed to foster them early on. A lot of people get scared or they get bullied out of it or they lose confidence because the world that they're able to see isn't really reflecting back in other people's eyes. It's just like, you know,
Well, I think there's different journeys in life,
yeah,
but probably the most important journey is your spiritual journey.
yeah,
Your spirit, your soul. Like
yeah,
you, regardless of what you believe in, the goal should be to be the best human that you can be.
yeah, the best version of you.
And of course, being a great human and sometimes being that great human for other people, lifting other people up, giving other people opportunities that maybe you had before them, or I don't always like to be that old guy who's always preaching to younger people, but if someone is open-minded enough to hear what I have to say, I certainly feel like I have something that I can pour into people, whether it's my skills that I've learned as a photographer in the 30 years that I've done that, or whatever my skills might be. I'm not a stingy person. I'm always willing to give that of myself to other people, and I feel like other people did that for me. I've had great mentors in my life. I've had great role models. I've had great people who, weren't afraid to let me know when I'm being a knucklehead. Let me know when I'm fucking up. Let me know that, hey, that's not the way. I've done that before. You don't want to go down that way. And of course, sometimes, you know, the smartest thing you can do is learn from someone else's mistake instead of having to make that mistake yourself.
Yeah. I think that's why it is important to listen to our elders. I mean, I wouldn't consider you elder age yet, but I just mean like our elders in the community, like the adults, like the people who have experience, regardless of age. Sometimes, just if you have the experience, if you have lived it, then like you are validated to speak and give advice and work on it because it's something you like. The fact that you've done photography for 30 years, they say it takes what 15 what is it 10,000 hours to master something, and then it's like after it's like after you master it, it's like then you like prestige or like prestige rank 1, prestige rank 2, and it's like you just keep going, like you keep like crafting it sharper and deeper, and then it's like you at this point there's really nothing anyone cannot tell you about photography. There's probably stuff you haven't explored yet, but still it's like the same with like spirit or anything. It's like when you do the work, the like inner work, you become not just sovereign, but you become the like embodiment of divine. Like when you like put dedication and craft, intention and skill into something, it's like you kind of like glow a bit. It's like you start to like see the world differently.
Oh, fully.
Yeah.
Fully. I've many times I felt like I found my purpose.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle in life is trying to find your purpose, trying to find your reason. And for me, it started back when I was 8 years old. My truck driving, Pall Mall smoking, black coffee drinking great aunt who she bought me my first camera, one of those little 110 cameras way back in the day.
Little flash film.
Back when there was film.
Yeah.
You would take these pictures and
have to.
You'd have to wait until you had the money to go get it processed and printed, and then you'd be like, opening it up like it was some present. How did I do? How did I do? And like
Yeah.
now, you just look on your phone, you know exactly how you did.
Yeah.
So it was a slow gratification instead of instant gratification. But from a very early age, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
Excuse me. That's pretty dope though. I mean, because you stuck to it, and I mean, you've like landed in this place is awesome. Like, and I see like the different like people who come through here, and they're all like hungry. They're all like working pretty hard towards their goals. So it's like you're in a position where you can foster the talent of others, and I think that's the like one of the roles of being an elder. Like you are in a position to like guide, lead, and like literally like foster the growth of others to like bring them up in the ways and
I feel blessed for that.
yeah,
I truly do.
yeah,
Because I didn't always know that it was going to go this well for me.
yeah,
There were times in my life where I didn't know how it would go, and I was scared to death.
overstandable.
But, hard work, perseverance, and not giving up, um, you can accomplish a lot of things if you let fear push you instead of guide you away from things. If you let it get behind you and push you as opposed to, sort of being an obstacle, letting it push you, you can accomplish some great things just by using that fear. There's a lot of energy in it.
This is something that resonates on that level, or something that feels aligned to say now. But it's like in the so this was an exercise we did when I was in middle or high school, probably seventh, eighth grade. But it was basically like career day, not the parent one where the parents come in and talk about. It was like they had different professionals come in and talk to us about different like jobs and roles. And um, before the people entered the stage and walked in the what's it called, the auditorium,
Mm-hmm.
the principal came out and he said something like, "When you look at the room, what do you see?" And everyone was like, "What do you mean?" And then he has like a guy who's like a locksmith come out. He just like he changes locks. He sometimes has a bus car, breaking the cars, and he changes locks. He makes keys and stuff like that. We had plumbers, we had a doctor, we had a chef. There were like a bunch of like we had like a diverse range of professionals come in, and uh, so again at the end after they all talked, the principal was like, "So what do you guys see when you walk in the room?" And then no one really in the crowd could answer. Someone was like, "Well, I see you on the stage." We started laughing, and then the principal had the professionals answer. And there was a guy who does like he does like ventilation and venting and stuff. He will like he's the guy who like changes to like air vents, or like he'll like have to crawl into air ducts and like clean them out. And he was like, "Well, when I walk in a room, I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm seeing like other particles in the air. Is the air quality in the building good? Is there good airflow from the vents?" And then like each of them kind of answered like that. There was like an artist. He was like, "When I walk in a room, I'm looking at like the symmetry of the lines and then like how I would draw like a 3D box to like make a room." So he's looking at like the texture of the bricks and like the lighting. There was a photographer. He's like, "I'm looking at like the different angles of the light and how it's like affecting like the subjects, like the people." And I'm like, okay, so it's kind of like we have to apply the same thing. And I think this is like what the whole purpose of like having a purpose is. It's like just left alone, we don't really have humans don't really have tools. Like we're a species that has to learn everything from our parents, or we just die. Like some animals, they just get kicked out the nest and they figure it out. We don't really have that luxury. So I think like having like a trade, a skill, a hobby, a passion, a talent, it's like it gives you like perspective. It gives you like some weight and direction to use in the world, to where you can like use this filter to like get access to different things. Um, yeah,
There's a lot of utility in that.
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes when we're young, we're afraid to dream.
yeah,
We're afraid to, say, "Oh, I could do that." Like, because so often somebody's telling you, "You can't do that,"
yep,
as opposed to, "You can do it."
yeah.
Um,
You don't hear that often.
no,
No,
no, you hear way more often that you can't do something
doubt,
as opposed
fear.
to do something.
Yeah, doubt and fear. It's 4:28.
All right. We can wrap
Do you
it
wanna?
up till next time.
All right.
So, you want to put a bow on it?
Yep.
All right.